Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. This is another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is not going to go up on the main page of my channel. This is going to be kind of a unlisted video. I'm going to put the link in my Discord for anyone who might be following that. So a couple people I think will get to see this. But basically what this is me doing an investigation of why the Enlightened trait looked so ridiculously strong in the data. This is actually being played on the first day where there's a patch for set 4.5. This is the set revival for Teamfight Tactics. And of course, when a new big patch comes out, one of the first things that I usually try to do is, okay, let's just spend, 10 minutes poking around in the data. There's of course websites like MetaTFT and tactics.tools that have good information where you can look up, okay, like what units are performing the best, what traits are performing the best, etc., etc., etc. We used to have data on augments, but that was pulled for this set. Hopefully it'll come back at some point. It's really stupid we don't have it, but whatever. So I went ahead and looked at this, and the numbers just looked absolutely insane. Enlightened trait was performing at some ridiculously high metric, like way out of proportion. To give you an idea of this, Enlightened 6 is, one of the main vertical traits here in set 4. Also, by the way, every time I keep tabbing out of the client, right now it's causing the recording to go blank. I think that it obviously got shifted somewhere from like borderless window to some other setting, and I bet one of the patches like updated one of the settings behind the screen, so I have to go ahead and adjust that because it's messing up these recordings. But anyway, the data, it was saying Enlightened, which is again not like a crazy chase trait or something. Enlightened 6 is you just need an Enlightened chosen to get Enlightened 6 because there's 5 Enlightened units. But anyway, Enlightened 6 was performing better than Fortune 10. Yeah. Enlightened 6 doing better than Fortune 10, that should not be happening. Enlightened 6, I think, was like 2.5 average placement with, I think that it had an 85% or like an 85% top 4 rate, and I think it had like a 38% win. That's like outright win the lobby. So I was like, okay, something is really off here about this. Like, Enlightened trait doesn't seem like it makes any sense. Why in the world would it be so strong? So I decided I would just go ahead, fire up the client, play a game with Enlightened, and try to figure out what the heck is going on here. And if it's that strong, I think I can win streak with it. So I'm going to go ahead and take Spoils of War. Now, in order to play Enlightened, I have to get Enlightened units. Have I seen any of them thus far? No, I have not. So I am going to try to play my way towards this comp, but of course I have to find the units first, and my early game probably is not going to be that amazing. So what have I actually found? I went ahead and grabbed an Elise Chosen just because, like, Cultist Elise Chosen gives you some solid frontline. I also randomed my way into an early Brand, so I was like, okay, Brand can hold items that'll go on like a future Morgana or something like that. And if I can find a Twisted Fate, I can even play 3 Cultist, 3 Mage, which is very solid for the early game. Like, I would want to make a Spear Shojin on Brand. I'd want to make a Spear Shojin on Janna. I'd like to make one on Morgana later on in this game. So I definitely want at least one Spear Shojin, if not multiple ones. And the only reason why I don't slam a Sunfire Cape right out of the start is I'd actually like to make a Gnasher's Tooth or a Morello's with that belt. I actually have a lot of needs for belts in this. Gnasher's Tooth for Janna, and a Morello's for Morgana. And then the vest could be an Edge of Night for Talon, which is a really important item here in the set revival. So anyway, we're just going to play our way towards this build and see what the heck happens. And then I get 3 Narcissus in my store, so I was like, all right, well, you know what? Narcissus doesn't fit the board at all, but he's a 2-star frontliner. It's stage 2. Let's just shove him on the board as well. It's not like he has to be better than a 1-star Annie that's not giving me any traits, but I'll hold on to the Annie for the time being in case I can get Mage trait in. Anyway, I'm looking around at different boards. I noticed there's a ton of people still playing Spirit Sharpshooters because that was like the most overpowered setup in the previous patch. But it is now it's like a playable solid comp without being disgustingly overtuned, or at least that's what the data is saying. Although it's really hard to make much sense of the data right now because it's being so skewed by whatever the heck was going on with Enlightened traits. So anyway, yeah, this is an unfortunate fight because the Diana jumps right on top of Brand. Funny thing is, I think if I have Brand on the other side, I think I might actually win this fight because Brand is all my damage right now, and when he gets taken out at the start of the fight, obviously it doesn't go well. You might also notice there's a Janna on the other team. It's like, Okay, boy, I lost that fight really badly, and that team just happens to have a Janna over there. So that's something worth thinking about, because, spoiler alert, it turns out there's something wrong with Janna, and we're going to be seeing that as this game goes on. But as for me, I still have not seen a single Enlightened unit yet, so I was like, okay, well, we're just biding our time, trying to wait until we can get more Enlightened units. Unfortunately, once again, still having this issue with the recording software. It's basically just every time I was tabbing out of the game to try to look at another screen, it was causing the recording to drop, which it wasn't doing before. I've been doing this for ages now. So obviously in one of the patches, they updated some setting on the client behind the scenes, and now I have to go in and fix it again. So anyway, hopefully I'll be able to do that. As far as other things going on in this game, we have a Scuttle Puddle game. That's what the encounter was at the start. We ended up getting Scuttle Puddle. And on top of that, my first augment choice, I did take Spoils of War with it. Mentioned that before. So hopefully I can get some loot here. The idea being is you take Spoils of War if you think you can win streak. If you think your board is not going to be very strong, then it's a total grief to take this. But as I said, if this Enlightened thing is as strong as I think it is, then I would want to be taking that. So, alright, anyway. I will pick up the Yuumi here. I'm actually not planning on playing into Yuumi, but I mean, she's just a pretty solid unit, so I wouldn't mind having her on the board. I actually would most like to get a sword here, because a sword would let me make Spear of Shojin. That's the item I'm most trying to make. Brand would get off far, far more casts if I can get a sword, but that gets snapped up, so I was like, okay, well, all right. I guess I'll just go ahead and take this. Take the what is it? The glove. Because there's a lot of useful things I can do with the glove here. Could do like a Jeweled Gauntlet for like a Morgana later. Could be Infinity Edge for Talon. It could be a Quicksilver Sash, which is super important here in the set revival. And because I'm playing Spoils of War, I do need to be looking to win rounds here, because the more units I kill, the more loot I get. So I'll go ahead and level to put in the Akali. We'll just stick the Sparring Glove on her. You might have noticed I have these components on random units. You typically don't want to do this. You do want to make finished items. But with the golden item remover, I can, of course, pop off as many items as I want. And I have, like, pieces of a whole bunch of items I want to make. As I said, I want to make a Shojin. I want to make a Nashor's Tooth. I want to make, like, a Jeweled Gauntlet. So I have, like, pieces of different items. Like, sure, I could make a Hand of Justice, which is a good item on Talon. But then I'm not getting a Spear of Shojin, which is a more important item. So that's why I'm holding things. And fortunately, this round, I was able to kill the Aurelian Soul in the back lines. At least in this buggy patch, mages are still not really viable. So, yeah, I'm hoping that mages will be playable, but at the moment they are kind of not. Anyway, there's the TFs, and there's another Annie come back again, so I can look to play mages here if I want. And I'm going to go ahead and do that, because I think that's more valuable than having the Akali on the board here for the time being. It's not like the Pike was really doing that much damage. I'm really playing through the Brand, so Brand being able to double cast, I think, is more valuable. The main thing is just, can I keep Brand safe from assassins in these rounds? Still, I'd say it's been a solid stage 2 thus far. I haven't taken that much damage. I haven't been able to go on a win streak or a loss streak, but I haven't taken too much damage, and I've been able to get a lot of econ. I mean, like, even if I lose this round, which honestly it looks like I will, because this is a Warlord board with a bunch of 2-stars. Warlord's pretty strong in the early game. It's not that strong late game. I can just sell, like, the Pike or the Akali, and okay, Brand just gets taken out. All right, I guess I needed Brand on the other side there. Actually might have won this round if Brand had stayed alive, but I don't think he got off even... Did he get off 1 cast? Maybe 1? He definitely didn't get off 2 casts. But anyway, even I can sell that unit, and I can get up to 40 gold. And level 5 40 gold with, what, about 90 health in the bank is pretty solid here. Yeah, 90 health. That's pretty solid for stage 2. Again, I'm just basically biding my time. And then look at this. There's a Sejuani. I was like, okay. Well, that's probably better than the Nasus, in all honesty. So I think I'll do that substitution. And then we'll see what else we can find. I am getting some Pikes. I've actually gotten a lot of Cultist units here, but no, I'm not trying to play Cultist. I'm trying to check out whatever the heck's going on with Enlightened in this game. And I finally see my first Enlightened unit with a Fiora. Do I snap her up here? It's the first Enlightened unit I've seen the entire game here. Fiora is by far the least important unit on an Enlightened board, but you still do need her. You need her and a Chosen in order to be able to play 6 Enlightened, which is what I'm hoping to play towards in this game. I might have missed this unit. Oh well, I'll see. And Fiora by herself does nothing. It's just I need her plus, like, Janna or plus Aurelia or something like that. And by the way, this is, again, remember, it's a Scuttle Puddle lobby, so we get a disgusting amount of loot. All right, I guess I didn't pick up that Fiora. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and sell the Elise Chosen, because what we're really looking for is a Janna Chosen. And then I can go ahead and make my Spear of Shojin. I'm quite happy to do that. And what else can I do? I could level and put the pike on the board. All right, out of items here, I was like, all right, I guess it's the Jeweled Gauntlet. And I'm really glad I pulled my item anvil first, because otherwise I probably would have made a Jeweled Gauntlet with the items I have on the bench. But I don't actually want to make double Jeweled Gauntlets. All right, there's a Fiora come back again. So now I do actually see the Fiora. And I do actually also have the items for a potential Morello's if I want here. Although, as I said, I really do want a Gnasher's Tooth as well. Still, Morello's would not be terrible here. Brand actually does do a lot of damage. It's just, can I keep him safe for any length of time? And that stun is really nice as well. So, but it looks like he's getting hit by a bunch of niddly garbage being thrown from the backlines. Yeah, that person somehow already has 3-star Trist. I guess they just either rolled for it or got lucky or something. But yeah, they have 3-star Trist, 2-star Niddle, 2-star Sivir already. That's pretty wild for this early in the game. Anyway, next augment here. It's definitely not Golemify. I think it's Epoch. This is always useful. Get the free extra XP and free rerolls, which is good because I'm trying to find Janna here. I want to get Enlightened on the board so I can start checking this out. My board is just kind of all over the place here. By the way, you can see how weak mages are by how not well my board's doing. And all right, I found Aurelia, so I was like, okay, do I want to play Aurelia? Let's start getting Enlightened on the board because I really am trying to investigate what this trait does. All right, and there we go. There is a Janna, so we need to play her. We'd like to get her on the board over something, but if I play her, then I'm losing Mage. But anyway, I will go ahead and do that anyway. Okay, there we go. That's probably better. And then, the Fiora doesn't do anything by herself yet. Let's go ahead and move some of these items. We'll move the Spear of Shojin over to Janna, just so that she casts more often. And then I can put the Jeweled Gauntlet. Now, the Jeweled Gauntlet really shouldn't go on Janna, and the reason for that is shields can't crit. Shields and heals can't crit in TFT, so you never really want to put like a Jeweled Gauntlet on a shielding or healing unit. Just doesn't really work. So I realize that, but I'm just trying to like sort out my items. So I make these items. The Morello's is of course completely useless on Janna because she doesn't deal any damage, but it will be useful on Morgana later on. So I'll move some of these items over to the brand afterwards, and then we'll see what we can do from there. But you might have noticed all of a sudden I instantly won the fight. I was like, huh, well that's funny. I didn't think my board was that strong. I guess that it made a difference. I do still have the 2-star Aurelia. I mean, I might as well pick up Aurelia's for a potential Aurelia 3-star. I'm still looking for my Chosen, by the way. That's why I'm rolling down to 40 gold here. I still don't have a Chosen. I'm really looking for a Janna Chosen. And since I've moved out of the mages, I'll go ahead and put Jax on my board instead because he'll make Divine Trait for Aurelia. I'm just not going to get 3 mages in so I can start selling some of those units. All right, let's see how this next round goes here. Okay, well, Janna's going to run up to the front lines. And wait, what's going on here? Wait, what? It looks like the whole enemy team is just kind of dying. Okay. Okay. So yeah, those Janna shields seem to be doing an awful lot of work in this fight because we're not really dying and we are kind of killing the Teemo back there. Teemo with that what is it, that Zanya's that's really effective. So anyway, I think that, well, we interrupted that person's win streak at the very least. Not sure that we should have beaten that board, but okay. And then, oh, look at this. This is a super valuable carousel. There's 3 spatula items here. I really want the Morgana with the spatula because the Morgana would allow me to just dump brand, play Morgana instead. And if I can then get a tier plus spatula, I can make an Enlightened emblem. Well, I'm not able to do that, but fortunately there is still a frying pan left over. Now, the frying pan's not as valuable because I already know that the recipe for an Enlightened emblem is tier plus spatula, as unfortunately the recording cuts out again. But I'm reasonably... by the way, we finally get the Chosen. We get an Mystic Janna. I was actually hoping for an Enlightened Janna. But if I can get a Reforger, which, by the way, seems fairly likely that I can get one because we're in a Scuttle Puddle lobby where you get lots and lots of loot, as we've probably noticed already. If I can get a Reforger, I can reforge the pan into a spatula, and then tier plus frying pan, or tier plus spatula will make Enlightened emblem, and I have to get that now if I want to play 6 Enlightened. So that's the goal, is we're going to try to find a Reforger, and then we need to find a tier. So any tier we get has to be saved for that. But now I have 2-star Janna, and wait, what? What's going on here? What? Okay, I mean, Janna's shields are effective, but it doesn't feel like they should be this effective. Still, we absolutely cut through the board, and look at the damage start over there. Braum did 4,800 physical damage. I saw that, and I was like, Okay, something is going on here. Something is buggy because there's no way that Bran should do almost 5,000 physical damage. Braum is a tank. Like, Braum does not do damage at all. Braum is just a tank. So he should not be doing 5,000 physical damage. That's absolutely insane. So something is clearly wrong here. By the way, we're finding a lot of Aurelias. Now, I'm 1 Janna off Janna 3-star. I just need I have a duplicator, so I can duplicate that. So I'm just going to roll for the last Janna here. I was like, all right, come on, come on. Can I see one more Janna? One more. Okay, there we go. And then duplicator, and boom, there we go. All right, 3-star Janna. So now we've got the 3-star Janna. And at this point, I was pretty confident that there was something that was going on with Janna and her shields, because she's putting these big shields, but like as soon as she puts shields on, everything just seems to die instantly. I was like, what the heck? Jax did 6,000 damage. And Aurelia did 5,000 damage. It's like, what is going on? So this is when I thought, okay, it has to be something with Janna's shield. She has to be giving too much attack damage to these units. But it wasn't until a little bit longer, I think, that I actually right-clicked on Janna's ability. Yeah, I'm looking at like the shields and healing. I was okay. She shielded for 3,000, but it's actually not the shielding that's the problem. It's actually the AD bonus she's giving to these units. Okay, and now Talon shows up, so that's really nice. Now I can look to start putting AD items on Talon. I will take that 5% odds Talon. So next up is we'll go to level 7, and then we'll put the Talon on the board along with the Fiora, and then that'll get us up to 4 Enlightened. As a quick refresher for what the Enlightened trait does, it's a mana generating trait. It just increases the amount of mana that units get from all sources. Enlightened 2 is 50% more mana, and Enlightened 4 is 100% more mana. They just generate double mana. That applies to... And by the way, we do not get a tier here, but oh, we do get a Reforger. Okay, there's our Reforger. Okay. So that's what I was looking for. Thank you, Scuttle Puddle Lobby, for giving us insane, ridiculous stuff like that. All right, so we're going to put in the Talon, and then we need to take something out, and I think it's the 1-star, what do you call it? I think it's the 1-star Sejuani. So, all right, we're going to reforge this. Boom, now we have a spatula. So now we just need a tier. Have to find a tier somewhere. In the meantime, I will definitely go ahead and make Infinity Edge for Talon. It's probably his most important item. And then I have these leftover items here, and I was trying to figure out what do I want to do with these. I decided I would go ahead and make a Titans, which is not a bad item on Talon. I didn't really have much that I needed to do. I mean, I could have done like a Gargoyle Stone Plate or something, but I felt like I had enough front line already. I didn't feel like I needed to play through the front line here. I had a bunch of tanks on the front line, so I kind of needed damage more than I needed tankiness. And okay, apparently Jax did 6,800 damage this round, so I was like, okay. All right, okay. So I would actually really like to get a little bit more mana generation on Janna, because clearly Janna's shields are what's carrying us. So I'd like to get a Gnasher's Tooth from that bow, and then if there's some other way I can get more mana generation on her. I mean, ideal would be a blue buff, but I don't think I'm going to get enough tiers for that, because remember, if I get 1 tier, it has to be used for an Enlightened emblem. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get a blue buff on her, but that would be like hilarious if I could do Gnasher's Tooth plus blue buff plus Shojin and just have shields everywhere on everyone for for like nonsense purposes. All right, and hey, remember how we're talking a lot about shields? Why don't we just make this even more silly? Powered shields. While shielded, your units gain 10% durability. Okay, that sounds good to me. I mean, we could also do little buddies, I suppose, because we are playing some 1-cost units on our board, but I think that this is fine. So let's go ahead and put Akali on the board by going to 8. Now, we do have free rerolls from Epoch, so I'll go ahead and use my free rerolls. So let's take Braum off the board because we found Shen, and now all of a sudden I have 2 ninjas on the board, so that's not viable. So I've got to take one of these ninjas off the board, and obviously the answer is to take Akali off the board. So we put Yuumi on the board. Now we have 4 Mystic, and then I was like, oh, okay. Or we could play Zilean, and we can get a much better Mystic on the board. So Zilean's pretty broken, and we'll just look to play him instead. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now I think I can just look to go to level 9, and on level 9 we can play, I don't know, we can play Yuumi for 5 Mystic. We'd also like to find Yone, because he would get us to 3 Adept, and oh man, what's going on here? Once again, my units just jump in the back line, and everything is dead so fast. Okay, yeah, even Janna did 3,800 damage in that fight, so obviously this is, yeah, not, again, you can see me checking the charts here. I was trying to figure out what was going on. I still didn't have the exact answer yet. I just knew that something was off about Janna's shields, but I was pretty confident I could go to level 9 now. Even though I haven't found Morgana, I still have the brand on the board holding Morgana items, because no one else on this board can really hold Morg items, but sooner or later I'm going to have to find Morgana. But at this point, there's no reason to stick around here. We can just go to level 9. Clearly, something is causing our board to be a lot stronger than it should. And yeah, I'm pretty confident I can play 5 Mystic because I have the Mystic Janna chosen over here. And 5 Mystic, 6 Enlightened, 3 Adept. That's I think that's going to be the core of our board. Of course, that does require finding a tier, but I'm reasonably confident I can get a tier just thanks to the fact that this is a Scuttle Puddle lobby where there's insane amounts of loot. I should be able to get one either off the carousel, and my god, Talon did 15,000 damage. I was like, what the heck? How does Talon deal 15,000 damage? So that's not right. That ain't right, folks. But I was confident I could get a tier between carousel and the final minion round and such. Unfortunately, I see this. There's an Ornn that has a tier. As soon as I see that, I'm like, well, I'm not getting this tier. That's not going to happen. So we'll just have to try to see what else we can get out of these remaining items. I could get I was thinking of taking the sword because then I could do Bloodthirster on Talon. That would certainly be really nice. So I'm going to try to take this sword, but that gets snapped up. So I was like, all right, I'll just take another rod. And then as soon as that happens, I go, I could have taken that belt. You see me walk over to the belt. Could have taken the belt and made Gnasher's Tooth. I was like, jeez. Okay. Could have taken that belt. That would have been a lot better. Oh, well. So I'm still holding these items because I'm still not 100% sure what I'm going to commit to with these items yet, but I'm sure that I can do something with the rod. If nothing else, it can be Ionic Spark, which wouldn't be bad. Of course, that assumes that I care about magic damage, and as it turns out, magic damage actually doesn't matter on my board, but I still had not discovered specifically why that was yet. So anyway, we're still on a big winning streak here. I don't think I've lost a round since I hit... Have I lost a round since I got Janna on my board? I don't think I've lost a single round since I got Janna on my board. Certainly not since I got 2-star Janna on my board. And obviously, as soon as I hit 3-star Janna, it started to become like just kind of a joke over here. Now, Teemo's blind does cause some problems for our team, but we've got Zillion Chrono Shift Revive, so it's not that much the enemy team can do. And again, Shen's leading the damage chart in terms of how much I've done. And then boom, I finally find it. Shielded allies gain 2,500% AD. Okay, look at this. Shielded allies gain 2,500% bonus attack damage for the duration. That is the mistake. It's right there. Janna's shield, the people, when they, the developers, when they were working on this patch, they bugged Janna. She's supposed to give 150%, 200%, 250%. Instead, she's giving 1,500%, 2,000%, 2,500%. There's just an extra 0 on Janna's ability. And so that is why this is... that's why this is working so well for me, because every time she puts a shield on someone, they get 2,500% added to their AD. So, you know, if their base attack damage is 100, it goes to 2,500. Yeah, and that's why units like Jax and earlier Braum, that's why they were leading the damage charts, because I am getting absolutely insane amounts of shielding on Janna. So at this point, I was like, okay, this is ridiculously bugged. I just will play out the rest of this game. Like, the whole purpose of playing this was to try to figure out what the heck was going on. I was just really curious, and I had the time to play a game. But now that I know, obviously I'm not going to play more games of this. I'll finish out this game just to see how hilarious it is, but I'm not going to do more games after this. That would just be silly. I'm sure there's people that will exploit this, but obviously this is a bug, and this just needs to get patched out. All right, so we're looking, is there a tier here? Yes, there is a tier. And by the way, thank goodness we have the new item system on the left-hand side. All those items wouldn't even, I don't think they even would have fit on the old bench. Okay, so first up, let's make our Enlightened emblem. I'm going to put it on Shen, who's the unit I thought I should have put it on in the last game. Now we're going to roll for other units here. All right, well, there's a Yone. By the way, we still haven't found Morgana yet. Do you think we can find a Morgana? That's a chosen Morgana, but that's not going to work. Okay, there we go. There's a Morg. So now we want to start putting some of these items on the board. So there's Morgana. We want the Morellos. We want the... I was hoping for a tier here, but no, that's not an option. So I was like, okay, what else can I do? Well, I can do Gnasher's Tooth. Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to put that on Janna. And now we can do another Morg item, potentially. I was like, all right, well, let's do maybe an Ionic Spark, because we're a magic damage-based team composition. And then I have the items for... I could do a Thief's Glove, but I already have a Thief's Glove here. I don't think I need to do double Thief's Gloves. So I could do, like, a... Last Whisper for Talon, so I think that's the next item I'm going to look to make here. And then I'd like to get the Yumi on the board for 5 Mystic as well, so I'll look to play that unit next as well. I'm still just trying to finish up with my items, so I need something off the board, and I realize that Jax does not need to be on the board anymore. He is giving me Divine Trait, which isn't nothing, but I think 5 Mystic is clearly better. So alright, we'll go ahead and do this Last Whisper here, and then I can Thief's Glove the Aurelia, and then I have the leftover items for Steadfast Heart. And I'm pretty happy with those items. All right, well, 2-star Fiora. Okay, we'll take that. Now, can we actually hit some of the units we care about? Well, there's an Ornn. As soon as I see that, I was like, you know what? Let's play the Ornn. I'll have him forge me some items. I can always look to play the Yumi if I ever get to level 10, but I think I value Ornn forging me additional items a little bit more highly. And in addition to that, I might be able to get 2-star Ornn. They actually buffed Ornn pretty significantly in this patch. So now I finally have the board together with the 6 Enlightened. So 6 Enlightened again is 150% additional mana generation. Just to put some numbers to that, a normal auto attack generates 10 mana. So normally you get 10 mana when you auto attack. This increases it by 150%. So you get 25 mana instead. All right, well, now we're getting some pretty useful pairs. Okay, do you think I have enough pairs here? Ornn pair, Talon pair, Shen pair, Zilean pair, and Yone pair. I think I have enough pairs here. Kind of important units if I can hit them. But anyway, going back to that mana generation, like I said, so a normal auto attack, instead of generating 10 mana, generates 25. And those effects are magnified with a Shojin even further. So normally a Shojin auto attack is 15 mana because it's 10 plus 5 plus the Shojin. Well, that goes increased to about, I think it's 37 mana per auto when you have a Shojin. So, like, look at Janna's mana bar. She literally just, like, attacks twice, and the mana bar fills up again. Look how many shields she's putting out. It's absolutely insane how many shields she's getting. And, of course, every person she shields not only gets, like, what is it, like 400 damage block from the shield, they're also getting 2,500% additional AD. So, obviously, this is a really, really busted interaction. There's just no way any other board can deal with this. By the way, there's another Enlightened emblem. I actually was going to take this and put it on Zilean. I wanted to get this, but I believe it actually gets denied from one of the other players. I mean, a Yone with an Enlightened emblem seems pretty good. Yeah, that gets denied. But then I see that there's a blue buff there. I was like, okay, can I take the blue buff? Can we just make this as silly as possible by putting Shojin plus Nashor's plus blue buff on Janna? And yes, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to lean into this broken interaction, and we're just going to exploit it for all it's worth, because this is the only time we're ever going to get to see this. I'm never doing another game with this setup, because this is clearly not fair. But okay, now we have blue buff and Shojin and Nashor's, which is like the maximum possible amount of generation you can get. I still have 4 pairs on my bench, but at least I hit Talon pair there. And I wouldn't mind getting another item for Morgana either, but honestly, Janna is the most important item, most important unit on my board. Okay, so we continue just, again, annihilating everything because this is such a busted interaction, but at least I've almost finished putting my board together. And, like, someone just hit 3-star Sivir, but I'm not sure that that really matters at this point over here. So once again, toss on the shields, and that pretty much ends everything. Janna's shielding is absolutely insane. She gets off more shields about every 1.5 seconds. She tosses out more shields, assuming she's auto attacking, and then Spoils of War gives me like 6 more gold. And Talon did 21,000 damage. And again, you can see why. If Talon gets the Janna shield on top of his Infinity Edge Last Whisper combination, every single auto attack's got to be doing well over 1,000 damage. I've got to watch Talon in one of these fights and just see how much damage he's outputting there. Okay, we get even more gold, so we're going to continue rolling for our missing units. All right, there's Yone 2-star. As soon as I see that, I'm going to move my Thief's Glove over to the Yone because he's just a better unit. He doesn't have Enlightened trait, but he's still a better unit. And can we hit anything else here? All right, well, we hit 2-star Zilean. That's not bad. Now, I probably should have moved the Enlightened emblem over to Zilean. Kind of forgot that I had it on Shen. I think it's better on a 2-star Shen than on a 1-star Zilean, but I think it's better on a 2-star Zilean than a 2-star Shen, if that makes sense. It's not like it's bad having it on Shen. He gets off a ridiculous amount of taunts, but I think it's better on Zilean, so he just gets off more revives on everybody, because Zilean's revive is a ridiculously overpowered ability. And if he had Enlightened trait, then again, 25 mana per auto attack is like, it's like having triple Shojins on him, essentially. All right, so this person has a Zanya's on their Teemo, so that stalls us out for a couple seconds, but I mean, there's nothing you can do. Janna shielded for 14,000 in that fight. Okay, this is starting to get a little bit out of hand. And now I'm just going to roll for the Morgana, and then I guess I'm going to look for that last Ornn, and then we might as well go to level 10 after that. Ornn just forged me an initial item, so I should probably go check out what that is. I think I actually forgot. And, oh, it's actually usable. It's Ludens. That's actually a decent Morgana item. Overkill damage is 100% of overkill damage is dealt to the next target. Probably better on a single target burst champion, but it's, I mean, like, it's not bad on Morgana. Could definitely use this here. And now we get to pull some additional loot anvils here, just because this is a what is this? I'm just gonna go to level 10 here because we now have the 2-star morgue. All right, what do we have here? I was like, okay, none of this stuff I really want that badly. I was kind of looking for stuff for Zillion. I was like, all right, well, you know what? We'll do the static shiv that gives him some attack speed. And I was like, I don't think I really need more frontline here. All right, I guess I'll give him this as well. Okay, it's not quite what I'm looking for, but it's passable. We are also up to 6 Aurelias. I was like, all right, I guess I'll just stick stuff set on the board for right now. So I don't really have much else to do. And then, oh, okay, well, there's 2-star Ornn. So we'll definitely pick that up. I'll go ahead and sell... I think I sell the set just to pick this up. And I'd like to get both of these Morganas as well. That actually gets me up to 6 Morgs. Now, I don't expect the game to last long enough for me to get Morgana 3-star, but I actually do... I mean, I do have Spoils of War, and I'm level 10, so I'm generating an awful lot of income here. I mean, I might as well try, right? So anyway, none of these other boards have even come remotely close to being able to defeat my setup here. And then I see there's a Swain in the lobby. So Swain is definitely better to play than Set because he puts... Siphoner trade in. And you can see someone types, yeah, Janna's the new Teemo, so that's fun. And they're not wrong. Like, this interaction is really busted. So I think that I actually ended up typing to them here. And by the way, there's a 3-star Kale on this board. Look, this person has 3-star Kale. I was like, okay. So I'm going to type, sorry, didn't even know. I was like, hey, I didn't even know why Janna was doing so well. I literally played this game because I wanted to figure out what the heck was happening. So I was like, I didn't even know why Janna was so strong. I wanted to test and realize that she's super bugged. So we're up against a 3-star Kale. I mean, should we beat a 3-star Kale? Heck no. Absolutely no way we should beat a 3-star Kale. On this Executioner's board, they even have the augment that causes Executioners to be stronger than normal. And that Edge of Night actually does make it relatively close, but no, we still win. Talon did 23,000 damage again, and that's it. The game's over. Probably mercifully, the game is over. This was such a ridiculous match. I mean, again, Janna's shield doing 10 times the AD it's supposed to do, obviously, is a ridiculous bug. I'm sure this is going to get fixed quickly. Hopefully the set will be playable because it's obviously not playable right now with Janna shielding for 2,500% or whatever. But I mean, at least I got some footage of this. I can look back at this and be like, okay, hey, remember that one time when Janna was preposterously busted? At least I got some footage of it. So hooray for me, I guess. Anyway, like I said, this is an unlisted video. So if you found your way here by link, hope you enjoyed this one. Until next time, though, hope you guys are having a great week. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.